Hello and welcome to Connections for Caregivers. The purpose of this group is to connect caregivers to supportive strategies, tools, and habits which will facilitate maximal independence and safety of their loved ones with dementia. This in turn will ease the burden on caregivers. The client population are caregivers of a parent or grandparent with dementia. The loved ones with dementia are at Allen's cognitive level of 4.0 to 4.4. The group size is 2 to 4 caregivers. The caregivers do not currently live with their loved ones but are nearby to assist with daily activities. The caregivers are motivated to learn strategies that will help them best assist their loved ones to remain independent. The occupational performance areas we are focusing on are the instrumental activity of daily living of caregiving as well as education. The caregivers are learning how to provide care for their loved ones suffering from dementia. They are being educated on how to set up the environment and how to cue their loved ones to remain as independent as possible. The occupational needs of the care receiver, or the loved one with dementia, are personal hygiene, grooming, and dressing. These are the focus areas of our group today. The goals of the group are to focus on daily activities of dressing and grooming or hygiene. The goal is to teach caregivers strategies to help support loved ones to be able to dress appropriately and with minimal verbal cueing. We will also teach caregivers best practices for supporting loved ones through grooming and hygiene routines. Following participation in this group, caregivers should be able to apply strategies learned into specific personal situations and adapt tools to best suit the specific needs of their loved ones.
At this level, actions are goal-oriented. Also, actions are usually promoted by visual cues. For example, seeing a toothbrush and toothpaste next to the sink serves as a visual cue to remind them to brush their teeth. Or seeing their clothes laid out on the bed serves as a visual cue to remind them to get dressed. Clients are able to complete short tasks as well. For example, brushing their teeth or getting dressed. At this level, visual demonstration of the task is needed. Verbal and written instructions are not followed. Tasks need to be broken down into several steps or actions. Repetitive routines should be established in order for the person to continue to function as independently as possible. This is the supporting evidence we used for our intervention. Now on to our presentation. Our caregiver intervention group was created for educating caretakers of those with dementia. Our recommendations are based on the needs of those with Allen Cognitive Level 4.
How are you guys? Good. Welcome. My name is Teresa. I'm the occupational therapist here at the Dementia Center, and this group is called Connecting for Caregivers. And so our hope is to connect you, who are caregivers, with some tools and strategies to support your loved ones in your homes. So I'd love to start with some introductions, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself, who your loved one is that has dementia, and maybe what's something you're struggling with currently in your daily routines with them.
My name is Lynette, and I'm here for my dad. He's 63 years old. He was recently diagnosed like a year ago, and he's having a lot of trouble with clothing. Like he'll just put on whatever clothes he finds. It can be dirty or clean. It can be someone else's clothes.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get dressed out of the way and continue on his day. So I really don't know what to do. So that's why I'm here.
Good. Well, we're going to talk about that specifically, so I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. What about you?
My name is Bree, and I'm here because I'm kind of becoming a caregiver for my grandmother. She just turned 80. She's slowly,
milestone.
yeah, she's just declining in her memory. She forgets things. She's not taking care of herself with bathing and brushing her teeth and those types of hygiene issues. And I just really like to learn some strategies to help her maintain cleanliness.
Yeah. Those are really common problems at this level of dementia. Both of you have loved ones that are in a similar mental state at this level of dementia. So we're going to talk about some ways to really specifically combat and help them be as independent as possible. So I have an agenda for you to go over what we're going to talk about today. goes with food as well, sorry. So I'm going to share some strategies, different activities that you can do at home to support their independence, specifically in the areas of dressing, clothing, and hygiene, grooming. So we're going to focus on that in today's session, and then in upcoming sessions, we might address some of those other areas where there are problems in your loved one's lives. And then we'll have an opportunity to share with each other, talk about how you might adapt some of these strategies into your own lives. Think about how it might impact their life, the life of your loved one, and think about how maybe these strategies then translate into some of those other areas as well that you're having trouble with. Okay, so let's begin. Let's talk about clothing. And Lynette, you specifically talked about your father struggling to know what was appropriate to wear. And one common challenge at this level of dementia is people not dressing appropriately for the weather. You mentioned wearing things that might, short sleeves on a winter day, for example. And so one tool that we have that can be really handy is using a weather device. You can put that in your loved one's room, and when they wake up, they can see a visual picture of what the weather looks like outside. And at this level of dementia, we're finding that visual cues are absolutely key in helping them remember the steps of things and to recall what they need to do every day. So having a visual picture of what the weather looks like can be so helpful for them remembering, this is what it looks like outside. And then having these types of charts, just like really simple, so that they know, okay, I see this on the weather device, or I see this weather, what it looks like outside, this is what I wear, this is what I wear on top of that if I go outside. It can be really simple, straightforward. The pictures are so intuitive, so it can be really helpful. And that helps keep clothing in line with the weather. Do you have any questions?
Where would I place these visuals if I were to use them for my grandmother? So that way she knows what they're for.
Yeah, so it's key to place them in an area where they're going to come across them in their daily routines. So if you put them in an area they never walk by, it's not going to be very helpful because they would need to remember to go to that place and then remember these other things. So having the weather device right beside the bedside table when they wake up can be helpful, or having the pictures right beside the door before they leave their bedroom, or right on their closet door, incorporating into something they're already doing. Getting dressed every day is going to be helpful.
Okay. What if you can't afford one of those weather devices?
Yeah, so if you can't afford a weather device, it's no problem at all. The great thing about these charts is that they include a picture of what it looks like outside, and so as soon as they see that, they'll be prompted, what does it look like outside? It'll go to the window. So you don't need to buy something expensive. It's just a great option if that's something that interests you and works for your family. Okay. So to talk about some of the other organizational strategies, let's go over the bedroom and we can talk about it over there.
Okay.
So here we are in the bedroom, and I wanted to talk right in the place of what it was going to look like in your home. So some of these strategies are going to be to help your loved ones remember how to dress and to do that as independently as possible. So again, going back to visual cues being so important for this level of dementia, one simple strategy is to lay the clothing out every morning. We've got a shirt, pants, socks, shoes, undergarments as needed right there. So it's really simple for them to remember when they wake up, this is what I put on, and they can still dress themselves and feel like they have a sense of control in their lives. Another really great tool can be to have picture representations of exact outfits. Our common concern was, Lynette, you talked about your father doesn't know how to put things together anymore. This takes the guesswork out of it for him. You can take an actual picture of him in an actual outfit, where it translates really easily when it comes to his closet door. I can wear this, I can wear this, I can wear this, as options for him during the day.
One question I had was, I'm not going to be at my grandmother's house every morning, so I'm not able to lay out her clothes like this. Do you have any other suggestions for how I can help her have the clothes ready, but not necessarily on her bed, since I won't be there to do that for her?
And she doesn't have an aide right now.
Not right now.
No, okay. Yeah, we have some other great strategies that can help her maintain that independence when you're not there. And maybe this would be more appropriate at a later stage of dementia where she needs a little bit more support and you do have a caregiver in there with her at all times. Some other strategies can be using some strategies like these for organizing the closet. And we have a picture or an actual representation here. So you can divide clothes by the day of the week up here. We have bins for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's so simple for you as a caregiver because you're folding laundry and you just put the clothing right into bins, separate it into outfits, takes the guesswork out of what to wear together. At the end of the day, clothing goes in the laundry hamper right behind you. the next day they go to grab more clothes, not even an option to rewear the same thing together. And so simple to keep it straightforward, and that could be an option that would work really well for your grandma. That would work great. Yeah. Any other questions?
Where do you get those pens from?
You get them at Target, Amazon, Bed Bath & Beyond, any of the common department stores probably have them as well. Okay. Well, let's go over to the bathroom. We can talk about some strategies for grooming and hygiene. I know you mentioned that was a concern for you. All right. So here in the bathroom, I wanted to talk about some strategies that could work really well for helping your grandmother maintain independence in her grooming routines. So again, visual cues being so important, it can be really helpful to eliminate all clutter, anything that's not going to be used in her routines. And then instead of having the toothpaste and the toothbrush be set aside somewhere, having them physically laid out, really ready, right where she would grab them can be a great reminder. And, that working memory takes over from there. You can also have your grandmother gather the items and then support with sequencing if that's a place where she's at, where you can prompt through the different steps. But if you're not there, a great tool, another visual tool, can be to use these step-by-step picture representations that you have right up there in the mirror while she'll see them. So this just goes through exactly how you brush your teeth, and that might prompt her to remember what those steps are for her morning routines. Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. At a later stage of decline, I know, Bree, you were curious earlier about what would be the next step if there was further decline, and you might actually have to have a caregiver there that could verbally prompt through the different steps if pictures were no longer sufficient. But that would help support her maintaining some level of independence, but still prompting her to do those next level of things. Don't forget to comb the back of your hair. Don't forget to zipper your pants or button your buttons. Those little details, you may need more support than pictures as those further decline. But at this stage, pictures work really well. All right. So now that you've seen a few different tools and strategies that we wanted to share that might be helpful to you, what do you think might be useful to you in your personal situations with your loved ones? What might be good for your father or your grandmother? How might this be helpful?
I like the bin idea, because not only do I want him to continue to be as independent as possible, but I want to be independent as possible. I have kids, and I need to be able to, like, in the mornings, be able to tend to them instead of doing everything for my dad. At least at this point. Hopefully, if he declines, then I can get an aide in there so they can help me out a little bit more. But for now, I need him to continue to be as independent as possible.
I'm glad you brought that up because our goal is not only to help your loved ones as you want to help them, but to help you to feel supported in caregiving and have a good impact on your life as well.
I definitely think those are good strategies that you talked about. I do have one concern. What if my grandmother sees those pictures and she doesn't understand what she's supposed to do? What would I do in that case?
Yeah. So as I said before, this stage of dementia, pictures usually are enough. The visual cues are really important, but as you know, the dementia is a progressive condition, and so there will be a time that probably comes where that she'll start being confused. Maybe you'll notice again that, oh, did you brush your teeth today? You notice her hair is unkempt. Some of those signs that indicate that not enough hygiene is going on, and so I think that might be a cue that you're in the next level of support. And so that might be appropriate, as we mentioned when we were in the bathroom. It might be time to be there with her, to have an aide that can prompt her and give verbal prompts for each sequence of the steps involved. Okay, great questions. So what do you feel about the experience of this group? Has it been helpful to each of you to work with me and with each other?
Yeah, I definitely think it's helped me to hear Lynette's story too, and to see the different issues that can arise with dementia and this level of it. It's just things that if my grandma does start forgetting how to dress herself, I'll know how to approach that. And I feel like I can apply it to other areas of her life as well.
Good.
I like the different strategies. So if the bins don't work, maybe using the hanger dividers that you talked about, or maybe using a different bin system, like the pictures that you have on there. So I got a lot of good ideas on how to incorporate that into it.
Good, and I'm glad that you guys have both really embraced the underlying concept of the visual cues being important, because when it is, this isn't working, how can I use something visual to help my loved ones? So I'm so glad that that's been helpful to each of you. What how might this then apply to other areas of problem areas? Like, could there any of these strategies that you think you could apply to other problems they're experiencing outside hygiene, grooming, clothing?
I definitely think with cooking for my grandmother, she doesn't cook as much anymore just because it is kind of a safety concern and we're worried about her, but she still prepares easy, simple meals, and I think if I were to give her a visual cue and just take pictures of like, this is what you need to do first, and then this is the next step in preparing this meal, I think that will definitely help her understand what she needs to do, and I think it can definitely be applied there.
Yeah, that's an awesome application. Taking the same tool, like the teeth brushing, and putting it into the kitchen, I think you'll get the same results.
Well, kind of like going off of like what Bree was saying, because my dad is always like looking for things like everywhere, like using more like labels, like labeling like in the kitchen or things like that might help.
Yeah, a visual picture of what's inside the cupboard has been really helpful for a lot of our clients and being able to orient themselves. And that saves so much time in their daily routines. They're not having to hunt for everything, they're not feeling as confused. You're going to really find, hopefully, an increase in their confidence throughout the day.
I think I could even place those cooking materials just on the counter too, so that way, like my grandmother sees them first thing and knows, oh yeah, like I need to eat. These are the things I need to prepare my meal. So clean slate, I think that's also
good. Yeah, and just being prepared, like we talked about, for knowing what signs to watch for when these things aren't working anymore, and knowing it might be time for a little bit more support to be added in. Good. Well, our goal today was to talk about some strategies and to teach you some strategies and activities that can be helpful in your daily routines with your loved ones. And it sounds like these have been helpful tools, ideas that you're ready to implement. What first steps are you going to take when you go home today?
I'm gonna bring my camera over or my phone and take pictures of all of my grandma's things, so that way I can make those pictures for her, so she has those and it's her own belongings. I think if I explain it to her too, while I'm hanging the pictures up, that I think it'll help her.
Great.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get like some bins. Start getting some bins and labeling them and showing them in the morning, like, hey, this is where your clothes is at, and you can just get the bins, and that will help a lot. Cut down on time.
Perfect. Hopefully improve your quality of life as well as his.
Yes.
So good. Well, I think we've met our goals that we wanted to talk about for today, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for being here and caring about your loved ones and being willing to share what those experiences are like with each other. I look forward to meeting with you guys next week when we meet again. All right, thank you so much.